After watching this video, you might lose faith in women, so you can choose to skip it right now. Today, we'll talk about something no one has probably ever told you openly. It's not that you don't know it deep inside. You do, but no one had the courage to say it out loud. Because if someone did, a huge fake foundation of your life would collapse. And maybe, just maybe, you'd stop living the way you've been living until now. But before we begin, I want you to listen carefully, because what you're about to hear may hurt you. It may shake you to the core. You might even feel like the person you see in the mirror isn't really you. But if you can handle it, if you don't look away, then maybe you'll finally understand something you've been ignoring for years. Have you ever felt like you're chasing something you'll never catch? A relationship, a look, a promise that always feels just within reach, but slips away every time? Have you felt like you always give more and receive less? That you've broken yourself down just to make space for someone else to fit in? That you've emptied yourself out, hoping that maybe, just maybe, that would make someone love you more? If yes, you're not alone. But what you're feeling isn't love. It's something else, something deeper, something darker, something primal, something cunning. So today we're going to uncover the dark side of women, the one nobody wants to tell you about. Maybe after this, your perception of women will change forever. So again, you can still skip this video. But if you stay, let's start from the beginning. The love you were told about, the love that's been sold to you, it doesn't really exist, at least not in the way you imagined it. This whole idea of a soulmate, that one perfect woman will come into your life, understand you, save you, complete you. It's a trap, a perfect trap, a system, a machine, not designed to give you peace, but to keep you running, craving, confused. And you know who designed it? Not Hollywood, not poets, something older, more primal. Your biological nature, that deep evolutionary instinct you don't control. In fact, it controls you. Schopenhauer was the first to see it. He wrote not to make people drown in love, but to wake them up, to rip off the blindfold, to show that romantic love is one of the most sophisticated illusions ever created. Not to make you happy, but to trap you, to bind you to a woman, to a fantasy, to an impossible promise. And without even realizing it, you've kept living in this belief that pain proves love, that sacrifice is noble, that losing yourself for someone else is masculinity. Lies, all lies. It's all part of the illusion. And that girl, she doesn't love you the way you think she does, because she's not what she appears to be. Her natural attraction isn't about souls connecting. She's looking for stability, security, strength, perfect genes. When she sees you, she doesn't think, will he make me happy? She thinks, can I survive with him? Will he provide resources? Will my kids be strong? And you're dreaming of poetry, rain-soaked promises, and the endless magic in her eyes. While she is calculating, analyzing, not out of evil, not out of coldness, but nature. And you pile your fantasies onto her. You make her a goddess when she's just a person, and in doing so, you lose yourself. You shrink, you change, you bend over backwards, and in the process, she starts to lose respect for you. Because respect is not born from love, it is born from strength. And when you put her on a pedestal and lower yourself, you handed over your power like a sacrifice, in the hope that it would buy you love. But the truth is, love doesn't reward sacrifice. Love responds to power, to presence, and sometimes to indifference. And do you know the most disturbing part? You know it, deep down. Every time you find yourself proving your worth to her, every time you justify her coldness, every time you become a shadow orbiting around her, a voice inside you screams, this isn't right, but you ignore it, because sweet lies are easier than bitter truths. No one told you that life can be lived without this romantic fantasy. No one told you that you are complete, even alone, that you can be free, powerful, without fitting into this forever lover story. This video isn't a war against women, it's a warning against the blindness that's hollowing us out from within, against the idea that love must be earned through suffering, against the belief that you're unworthy unless you sacrifice everything. This is an invitation to stare into the dark well of truth without flinching, to understand that as long as you believe in fairy tales, you'll always be a side character in your own story. It's time to wake up, to stop begging for what you should have given yourself, because no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to complete you. That job was always yours. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll stop falling into the same traps. So now, take a deep breath, because what comes next is not comforting. It's not easy to hear. It's the uncomfortable truth. But if you have the courage to sit with it, you'll never see women the same way again. Because by now, many have already stopped watching. Not everyone is ready to hear this truth, but you stayed. And now we're about to go deeper, to a place where comfort ends and truth begins. We'll talk about the psychological price you pay when you idealize a woman, the emotional debt you carry when you believe someone else must complete you. The most dangerous part of this whole illusion is not that you fall in love with it, but that you destroy yourself for it. You stop being yourself. You lose your center. And when a man loses his center, he's no longer a man. He becomes a satellite, orbiting something he thinks he needs, an emotional beggar. I know this hurts to hear, but I must present the truth as truth, because there's nothing more tragic, more powerless, more destructive than a man who's obsessed with being loved in the way he wants, by a woman. He starts to change himself. He shaves off his edges. He silences his voice. He makes tiny compromises, and all of it, just to be loved more. But that doesn't lead to attraction. It leads to disgust. No one wants someone who shapeshifts to fit them. Authenticity is magnetic. Constant sacrifice is repulsive. And the cruel reality is, the more you adjust for her, the less she adjusts for you. Because there is power in imbalance. And every time you make a compromise, every time you justify her coldness, every time you explain her silence away, every time you tell yourself, she's just different, you lose power. No, brother, she's not different. You are the one refusing to see the truth. Now listen closely. The most easily manipulated man is the one who fears losing a woman. That fear of losing her love makes you a slave. And you don't need chains to enslave someone. Just a few sweet promises, a little praise, a measured dose of affection, just enough to keep you hooked. While you wait, she's living, she's choosing, she's evolving. And you stopped living long ago without even realizing when it happened. Schopenhauer understood this best. He said, "The will to live is man's greatest strength, but when that will is blindly poured into a woman, it turns into the will to suffer. You shrink where you should expand. You stop where you should move forward. You try to fit into her world instead of building your own, and slowly, you disappear. And nobody tells you this. When you lose yourself for a woman, you don't just lose a relationship. You lose your life force, your focus, your masculinity. Not fake masculinity, not muscles and macho acts. I'm talking about the inner fire, the one that teaches you to build, to win, to evolve. That fire, you extinguished it in the name of a romantic illusion. But do you know when that fire returns? When you separate yourself from that blind attraction. When you stop looking in her for what only you can give yourself. And now comes a truth, possibly more painful than any breakup. If you don't learn to be alone, then no one can ever fill that emptiness inside you. And when you don't know how to be alone, you're always willing to endure the unbearable. You give up your path, your peace, for a few moments of attention. And remember this. The problem is not her. The problem is you made her into something she was never meant to be. The cure for your emptiness, the answer to all your questions, that's not fair to her, and it's not fair to you. She's not coming to save you, and you were never supposed to need anyone to save you. The real journey begins when you stop searching for love in others' eyes and start finding wholeness in yourself. Yes, even with your flaws, even with your darkness, but honest, powerful, unbroken. Now tell me, how many times have you changed the way you speak just for someone else? How many times have you gone silent just so she wouldn't feel offended? How many times have you hidden your opinions just so she would remain attracted to you? How many times have you buried your emotions, hoping she'd understand on her own, that she'd feel it herself, that she'd value you without you having to say a word? That's not love. That's emotional slavery. That's living your life according to someone else's approval. And a person who lives like that is never truly happy. He simply adapts. He survives. He doesn't live. But a free man, what does he do? He speaks. He stands by his beliefs. He doesn't beg. He doesn't plead. He doesn't wait. And if the woman in front of him doesn't understand him, doesn't accept him, he walks away without anger, without guilt, because his value doesn't depend on what a woman sees in him. His worth comes from how true he is to himself, whole, unshaken, unbreakable. Next time you find yourself asking, why am I trying so hard? Stop. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I want to, or because I'm afraid to lose her? If the answer is fear, then run, not for her, but for yourself. Because no love should ever be born out of fear. And if a relationship is built on need, then it will only bring restlessness, not peace. It will bring dependency, emptiness. And if you've made it this far, listen closely. You are not broken. You are not lost. You're waking up. You are seeing things that most people don't have the courage to face. You're breaking the lies you've been fed since childhood. That true love demands sacrifice, that everyone has a missing half, that you're incomplete without someone else. You don't need to be part of that story. You can break out. You can be free. And when you are free, when you take back your power, when you stop expecting someone else to fill your emptiness, only then will you know what real love is. A love without illusions, a love without chains, a love without fear, a love that begins the moment you choose yourself. And if you're still here, then understand this. You've already changed. I don't care whether you feel it yet or not. I don't care if you agree or if you're swimming in a storm of anger and relief. What matters is you listened, you felt, and something inside you has broken. And maybe something new is now being born. You don't find light without first walking through darkness. Do you hear that silence now echoing within you? That emptiness, where your illusions used to live? That emptiness, it's not the end, it's the beginning. Because everything that truly matters begins the moment you dare to break the lie you've lived with for so long. Now ask yourself, will you still go looking for love in places that only ever give you broken pieces? Will you still offer yourself to someone who doesn't even know what they're holding in their hands? Will you still write poetry for someone who only knows how to break you emotionally? Or, just once, will you pause and see the game that's been played around you since childhood and say, no, I'm not playing this game anymore? Now hear this. It stings more than any rejection. The lack was never in love. The lack was in seeing yourself. Pay attention. Every time you break an illusion, you become more real, stronger, more present. And when you are fully present, no one can use you. No one can move you like a pawn. No one can make you a statue in their unfinished fantasy. Because by then, you have already become your own masterpiece. This world is full of men who've spent their entire lives revolving around a woman who doesn't even know what she wants. Broken men, lost, who once burned like fire and now are ashes. You don't have to be one of them. You can reclaim your fire. But first, you have to take off that chain you put around your neck the day you believed she was the answer to all your questions. Tonight, look in the mirror. Ask yourself, who would I be if I stopped believing in the kind of love shown in movies? Who would I be if I stopped living to please others, to be liked, to be chosen? What if I chose myself instead? Who leaves? Who stays? You'll find out. This isn't poetry. This is a declaration, a symbol of transformation. Whoever wrote this believes one thing. There is no going back. He is no longer the same man. And if you want to break more lies, if you want to hear truths that everyone feels but no one says, then join me. This channel wasn't made to comfort you. It was made to wake you up. So that one day when you look back, the man you once were feels like a stranger. And now I say goodbye, but not like others. I say goodbye with a question, one that may not let you sleep tonight. What if everything you ever believed about love was just nature's trap? So you'd forget yourself. Think, breathe, and burn. Because now, your real life begins.